Right, so today's video is going to be a little bit different because this morning I came across a video where two people are having a bit of a confrontation. It's seemingly all about like a Tesla charger, you know, where you get your car charged, and there's little to no context as to what's actually happened here. So naturally, after I saw this video, I wanted to kind of know the context of the situation, and then I realized that the two people involved have both made videos going back and forth with each other. So it was at that point that I decided to set up the camera and record this video. So I haven't actually seen the explanations as I'm recording this video. We're gonna find out together. I've done this a couple of times before. Some people seem to like it when I kind of like find out about the situation with you lot as we're watching the video. But yeah, we'll do this every now and then. It's not gonna be like a common thing. But either way, the two people you need to be aware of in this situation is justiceamourr, who is a TikTok with 600,000 followers, and also Christyjoy, who is a TikTok with 4,000 followers. And here we actually have the original video, the confrontation, right? This is the video that I have seen, and it was uploaded by justiceamourr 2 days ago as I'm recording this.
No, you didn't. The line just started, girl. We was here the whole time.
I was here an hour ago.
Okay,
you want to see
fine.
how long?
No.
Just move your car.
Baby, you want to be nice now that you see the camera like you didn't come out yelling, huh? Yeah, fuck out of here, bitch. Don't play. I'm not one of them. Don't play. Because you came out yelling and you cussed at him. That's why I got out the car.
Okay, so again, there isn't a lot of context as to what actually happened here. All we're seeing is two people who were clearly having a bit of an argument. And all we can really judge from this video is Christy, who I'm assuming is the owner of this Tesla right here, is in the parking spot for the Tesla charger bay. And justiceamourr is in this Tesla right here, which is parked directly behind Chrissy's Tesla. I mean, look, I've definitely never had a Tesla before, so I don't really know how the Tesla charging point etiquette goes. I just assume it is like a first come first serve basis. It does seem like they're arguing about this, but again, we don't have much context at this point.
You cussing him? Yes or no? That's why I got out the car. Don't play. I don't play. Okay, thank you. Be respectful. I'm not gonna talk to you no more, but be respectful. In the car, she was gonna be disrespectful. I don't play like that. You came out the car yelling. You came out. I'm recording, baby, so it's all on camera.
Someone, hi, 911. Culver City, Westfield Mall.
Oh, so she's called the police at this point.
Somewhere you got him from.
And that is all we got. Like I said, fuck knows what actually happened there. Now, just judging from the comments on this video, which again is before we see all the explanations, people also seem to be pretty confused. Like, we got this top comment here saying, I'm so confused because you blocked her in and took the charger. Wait, but why isn't your car in the parking spot? And then just a simple comment here saying, need the full story, which is apparently what we're now getting. So justiceamourr has uploaded 3 videos explaining this. They're all pretty short, and Chrissy has uploaded 1 longer video talking about this.
So to make a long story short, I'm with Egypt, right? So that's my boyfriend. Then we got the lady, we're gonna call her Keisha. All right, we're gonna break this down for y'all. This is gonna be a one and done post. I'm not doing multiple parts. I'm about to give it to y'all.
Keisha obviously being Chrissy in this situation, but I assume that she just didn't know who Chrissy was at this point. I didn't know her name.
Boom, we pull up to Culver City, Fox Hills. If you're from LA, you know where that's at. If you're not from LA, it's a mall out here, a very popular mall. They have the Tesla chargers. So again, I don't own no Tesla. I'm not knowing that folks be getting down over them chargers. So we pull up, it's a line, and you already see some cars fake way playing bumper cars. Like, they trying to figure out who getting into this station and this is that and the third. I'm not really understanding what's going on. What the fuck? If you can't get one, go to the other.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that does sound a bit stressful. Like, I've never had an electric car before, so I don't really know how it works. But if there is one thing that really puts me off it, because there is so many like benefits to it, obviously, but the one thing is just, it does seem like a big hassle to try and get it charged. I guess obviously if you charge at home, it would kind of get rid of that problem, but then if you have a long journeys and whatnot, it does seem like it results in some stressful situations.
Anyways, to make a long story short, y'all, we pull up, we get one of the spots or whatever. Mind you, we waited in a line. We pull up, we go click the car up or whatever. Mind you, I'm not a Tesla person, y'all. I'm going to keep saying this, so I'm not understanding what's going on. Click the thing in the car. He's in the car for a minute. He like, oh, it's not charging. I'm like, what you mean it's not charging? The car is clicked up, so how is it not charging? I guess this particular charger was broke. Now, at the gas station, if the pump not working, it normally says pump out of order. There's like a sign or there's a little trash bag over it. There was none of this. Tesla, do better. What's going on? So it wasn't working. It kept like coming out. It was saying charger, not charging, whatever. So this is where the story begins.
Okay.
When you watch my video, you're going to see the lady is in the last stall. We're in the stall right next to her. That's the one that was not working. We pull out of that stall and just wait. At this point, we're waiting for whoever comes out first. The line is, baby. The line was around the corner when we got there. The line is around the corner of the block now. We're not waiting again. We already waited in that line. This one doesn't work, so we're going to get out of the line, program in the front, and wait for whichever one opens up.
Okay, right, yeah, no, that's fair enough. You've waited in the queue, you've got to the front of the queue, and you just so happen to get into one that doesn't work. There's no sign saying it doesn't work. You didn't know. You're not going to reverse out and wait for another one. That's fair enough so far. The bit I'm obviously very curious about right now is why it ended up that they were parked directly behind someone who seemingly couldn't get out.
As we're waiting, the line is so packed, y'all, that people not even waiting until the cars pull out. People is seeing people walk to their cars, or people is seeing people unclick the charger and already pulling up. We're waiting in the front. Like I said, a lady proceeds to walk out of the mall because we're at a mall. She gets in her car. We're closest to her. The other cars already understand what's going on. Nobody's tripping. Nobody rolled up. No, nothing. This is clearly the space that we're about to get into, right? Keisha's space. That's what I named her, right, Keisha? Yeah, this is Keisha's space. So Keisha just walked from the mall, got in her car. She's about to back up. When she backs up, we're about to back in, right? Right. She sees us. She gets in her car. A considerate person gonna move quick. Not that you have to. Like I said, that's a considerate person. Okay, if you're not considerate, you still gotta move eventually because you're leaving. And that's what people do when they leave, they move. You know what I'm saying? But she purposely gets in her cars and she sits. So we're confused. So mind you, her car is already unclicked. That's why y'all see us blocking her in. I seen some of the comments where you're like, oh, well, it looks like you're the one I was blocking her in and took her charger. No, she unclicked her car, got in the car and was supposed to leave. Did not. So we're like, okay, we just gonna roll up right there and click it until she, you know, open, hey, y'all, I'm ready to move, whatever the case may be. Mind you, she didn't have to say, let me address y'all.
Okay, again, not really too clued up on the whole, like, Tesla charging etiquette. But apparently what's happened here is that Chrissy has came back from inside the mall. She's went in there to, like, I don't know, eat or something while she's waiting for a car to charge. She's came back, the car's done, it's unclipped, and she's not moving. Now, obviously a big important part of this situation would probably be like how long she sat there not moving for before this like kind of situation happened. Because obviously if she just sat there for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes or whatever, you would probably be a bit pissed off and be like, you're not even charging at this point, you're just taking up space. But then on the flip side, if she's just sat there for like 2 minutes, she could be doing anything. She could be putting like a destination in a sat nav or something like that, like figuring out which way she's gonna go. Like, it all kind of does depend on that time, in my eyes at least. But what Justice is saying is that she was sat there for too long, we don't know how long, but sat there for too long, so they pulled up, kind of blocked her in, and took the charger for themselves, and was just going to wait for Chrissy to be like, oh, I need to move now, and then they were going to let her out.
Mind you, I'm not on some, oh, I'm about to block her and she got to ask me. No, I'm not a mean girl. Y'all know my body. That's never been me. But what I'm saying is if you're finna sit in your car and at this point you're taking up space and it's an empty charger at your car that you're not using anymore because your car is already charged, I'm going to pull up. Click this car and be on my way. When you're ready to move, honey, you open that door. You say, knock, knock, who's there? You say, I'm ready to leave. We're going to back up, roll back up and click it and you can go on your way. She didn't do that.
Okay, so I do get what you're saying at this point, right? I feel like probably the better solution would have maybe been to like go and like knock on a window and be like, excuse me, like, I don't know, like, are you moving at this point? Are you done in this place? Like, you see there's like a massive queue of people waiting, so we're just trying to get in. And then maybe that would have solved everything. I don't know. I mean, again, Tesla etiquette. It's a completely different world to me. I don't know.
I forget exactly what this lady said, y'all. In Egypt, not in the house with me right now, but she swung her, I can't even talk. This lady swung her door open, looked like, came out the window, looked at her, shooed me. That's what did it for me. Bitch, you hold on. The bitch shooed me and was like, get the fuck out of here. Oh. Who you talking to, Keisha? Keisha, but she ain't see me. She ain't see me. I never got out the car. Egypt plugging it up. Egypt doing it. I never bounced out the car.
Okay, so when Chrissy decided to move, apparently she just kind of like shooed her off and like did this motion to her. And then I guess this is kind of where the argument started.
Y'all seen the video, so I proceed to tell her, like, watch who she talking to. She don't gotta get loud. She don't gotta do all the extras. I'm not with all that extra shit. She ends up calling the cops. She gets on the phone. She starts acting frantic. Like, I'm walking up to her. She's like, this female is really aggressive. I need you guys to get here. I'm at the, and then she can't even say it. So I'm helping her say it. I'm about to insert the video. Oh, she's feeling threatened. Please come help her. She's feeling threatened. Come help her.
Someone is parked their car behind.
We parked behind you because you wouldn't move, and we have witnesses. Please help.
Ask them to like go back into the line, but
We won't do it.
I just asked you.
Oh my God, now she asked us.
Please. Hello?
Oh my God, call the police.
Oh my God. Police, please come. We're at JCPenney.
Okay, so what it seems like is that the situation has escalated a lot more than it definitely needed to. Now the problem is the video obviously starts like mid-argument, so we don't really see how it started, because obviously Justice is saying here that Chrissy was rude to her straight away, like instead of just like asking her to move politely, she was rude. We don't see that, so we have no idea what really happened. Which is obviously a shame that it had a result in all of this, because realistically, the situation itself, like this charger thing, isn't really that big of a deal. All it needs is that someone needs to move so they can get into the space. That seems like there should be a really easy solution. Apparently there wasn't, and arguments broke loose.
Once she called him, they end up pulling up. She's in her car and she's mad now and she's not coming out and she's looking out the window scared. They go up to her car. They like...
Oh, so the police actually showed up. Obviously, we didn't see that in the video, but the police apparently showed up to the situation.
So they asked us to back up. She leaves, and they were like, we're going to save the space for y'all. Y'all can pull right back in. We pulled right back in, charged our car, took a little nap, and went on about our way.
I mean, yeah, if that doesn't prove how easy this, like, problem could have been solved, then I don't know what does. One person moves out the space who's done with it, another person moves in. Really easy. No, it's hard to really sit there and work out, like, who's in the right in a situation, because yet again, we don't see, like, half of what actually happened, especially at the beginning bit. But, yeah, I mean, we've got one person here who apparently has been waiting in the space for too long after they're already done. We've got someone else who has blocked that person in, and that person who's then went to leave has apparently been rude, and now they're not moving. Like, I don't even know what's going on at this point. But like I mentioned before, we do actually have Chrissy's side to the story here.
I'm at the Tesla supercharger station at Fox Hills Mall / Westfield, Culver City. And at the time when I first got there, there were maybe about 4 people in line. And so when it was finally my turn to go up, the charger that I went to, it was broken. And so I took it off the hook, threw it over, and then I just went back in line because I still had a good decent amount of charge, but some people might be really strapped, so then I just let them go up ahead first. And then finally, when it was time, or when I had an open spot, I parked, went inside, grabbed food, ate for a little bit, saw that my car was almost done, walked back, took it out, like uncharged it, put it back on the hook, and then went in my car and I was looking on my phone, trying to see if I wanted to go do errands or if I was going to go home, trying to figure out what I was going to do. This part I do want to apologize for, because I did kind of do like an ADHD blackout where I have no concept of time at that point of like of how long I've been there. I don't want to say it was a long time. I want to say it was like maybe 5 minutes.
Okay, well that's interesting, because like I said before, I feel like that's actually kind of like an important part in the story, right? Like, how long was she actually waiting there for and not letting people in? Now she's saying that she kind of had a bit of a blackout and doesn't really have the concept of time in that scenario, but then also says it was only 3 to 5 minutes. So I don't know. There's obviously a lot of unanswered parts of this story that we probably will never find out realistically.
And the only point where I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go home, I'm tired. And so I look behind me and I see a car pull up and stop, and like in my mind all these things are just piss and firing at me, like, oh my god, this is where you're gonna get abducted. I am a 5'1", 98-pound female. This is where you're gonna get abducted, because I see the car pull up, block me in, and the male get out, and I freak out a little bit until I see him go and pull the charger off and then parked his car and then start charging his car. And I was like, no, you cannot do that. You cannot block people in. That's a safety hazard. And also, I don't know if you can see, but it's also a fire lane, so you can't park there. So they're blocked me in, and they're parked in a fire lane. And so I get out of the car and I was like, can you fucking move your car? And so then he's like, no. Like they decide to leave, and that's when she gets out and just starts escalating the situation. And just, I mean, in the video you can see that she like called me a bitch, that I'm like pretending to be nice. I was like, no, you're just squawking at me and not letting me speak so that he and I can have a conversation. You're not making it any better. Just sit, like, let the people talk, of the people who actually have the keys in their hands and needs to get out of this situation.
Okay, so obviously Chrissy's side of the story is different, which, I mean, we would probably expect when 2 people are going at each other in a TikTok, like, bit of drama, the stories are probably going to differ a little bit. Because what she is saying is that she was blocked in by this other car, and then when she asked them to move, they said no. Which of course, if that is true, does change things, but who knows if it's true? We have literally no proof to show that that's true or that it's not true. She's also now saying that the car was parked like illegally, it's in like a fire lane, which is like a safety hazard and whatnot. But then she's also admitted that she was waiting in the car for a little bit, but she says it was only 3 minutes. And if it actually was only 3 minutes, I don't think that's a crazy amount of time to wait for someone to pull out of a space, because like I said, you kind of need to get like comfortable, put a seatbelt on, maybe get your sat nav, put a destination and figure out where you're going. But then she also says that she lost track of time. So what the fuck does that mean? So it could be like 10 minutes? I don't know.
So then I was like, well, I'm just gonna call security or like 911. I don't know. Like, I don't know the number to the security here. So then I just called 911. So then the dispatch hears like everything that's going on, because she's just sitting there. I mean, you can hear her. She's just like yelling at me. And that was heavily edited too. So then I go back. The dispatch tells me to go back in my car. So I go back in my car, and then she's like, okay, explain your situation. And she's like, just breathe, calm down, breathe, and just like explain the situation. So I explained what happened, exactly what I said. And I was like, and I just want to leave. And but she's like, but you're blocked in. And I was like, yeah. And so then they're like, okay, we're gonna dispatch a local police to come to you. And I was like, okay. And so then they finally came. He tapped on my window and just said like, so what's the situation here? Explained the situation for the third time. And then he's like, so what do you want? And I was like, I just want to go home. And he's like, but you can't because they're parked behind you. I was like, yeah. And he's like, okay. So then he like tells the guys like, no, you need to back up and let her leave.
Yeah, I mean, if it's true that they actually refused to leave that space and just genuinely were like, no, we're keeping you blocked in here, that's obviously not a very good look in their part of the story, is it? Especially considering that just kind of proves how easy the story could have been, like, over with. Obviously, on the other side of the story, like what Justice was saying, she was saying that this all started because Chrissy started being rude straight away instead of just asking them to move. But I don't know. I'd love to know your thoughts in the comment section down below.
So then I leave, and as I'm backing out and pulling up, like I have to pass by their car, she flips me off and sticks out her tongue at me like a juvenile child. And I was like, come on. We're grown-ass women. We're grown-ass adults. Like, you don't need to do that. I hope that guy's not parking the one that's broken. Anyways, but yeah. So then after I leave, they're just sitting in their car, and then I go back around to the front and just let the man up there know, like, hey, that lady or the couple that's over there, they're not stealing or cutting. They were previously here in the line, but then the car that they were, or the station that they were parked at, it's broken. And so as I was leaving, they're taking my spot. And he's like, oh, okay. Thank you for letting me know. And I was like, yeah, you're welcome. And so then after that, I park in this, or kind of like in the open spot where it's broken, stop the car where I'm partially behind them now, get out of the car, undo the hook, throw it over the charging thing to let people know that it's broken, because I don't want this situation to happen again. And she like looks at me and just gives me a dirty look.
They've clearly had a bit of a confrontation over some Tesla charges. Again, a situation that seemingly could have been solved fairly quickly if it wasn't for the fact that someone somewhere has started being rude. We obviously don't know because, again, we haven't seen the beginning of the footage, and the stories do differ. Now, as I'm looking at the comments of this video, it does seem like the opinions are a bit mixed. Like, we've got the top comment here saying, now, once you're done charging, move. Again, I feel like that does depend on how long she was actually sat there for. 3 minutes, again, that's probably a bit more time than you really need to, like, put something on, like, a sat nav and whatnot, like I was saying, but still, 3 minutes isn't the longest time in the world. If it's, like, over 5 to 10 minutes, like, yeah, I get it, right? Why are you still sat there at that point? And again, it seems like this could have all been avoidable if, like, for a couple of things, right? Like, one, instead of parking behind her, like, maybe go up to a car and just ask, like, can you move? Second of all, if Chrissy did get out of the car and started being rude, like, instantly, like Justice is saying, don't do that. Obviously, just ask nicely. It just seems like there's a lot of things that people could have done differently to avoid this. We've also got comments in this video saying the algorithm never failed me. I just knew you were in the right based of them blocking you in. I'm sorry you had to deal with that. And yeah, the rest of the comments are definitely mixed. There's people on both sides. I would love to know your opinions in the comment section down below on everything that we spoke about in today's video. And yeah, I'm gonna leave the video there. So if you did enjoy, please do a like down below, subscribe if you are new, and until the next one, I'll see you guys in a bit. All right, goodbye.